What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be doing a Jacksonville Jaguars 7-round mock draft. We are finishing up the AFC South. I believe we only have the AFC North left to go before we move on to the NFC. Doing 7-round mock drafts for every team, um, along with a bunch of other draft content. Doing first-round mock drafts. I might do a 2-round mock draft here soon. Video about my guys, some film breakdowns, anything NFL, draft, college football related. I plan on doing here in the future. If it interests you in any way, if you want another voice in your ear about the draft, about football in general, feel free to like the video, subscribe, stick around, share with a friend. Just gonna keep doing this, man. I love doing it. It's a lot of fun, and I love talking football. So. With that being said, let's get into it. Jags, no first round pick, obviously. Traded with the Cleveland Browns to move up to get Travis Hunter. So their first pick is at pick 56. So this is a team that doesn't have a ton of glaring needs. They don't have a lot of free agents leaving the team. So they can really focus on BPA. I think they need trenches. Corner and receiver would be the top positions, I would say. So here at pick 56, let's take a look who's on the board here. I'd be interested in Connor Lew here. Really beef up the interior line. I think he's a guy that if he didn't get hurt, we'd be talking about him, inching closer to the first round. Kind of in the same conversation as Pregnon and guys like that. If Big Citrus is here, I'd be interested in Citrus. I'd be interested in Daryl Jackson around this point. It's a little early for Tim Keenan. What does a receiver look like? Surratt would be interesting. I think he would complement Brian Thomas Jr. really well. I'm very curious to see what they do with Travis Hunter, whether he will continue to play both sides of the ball or if they try to get him to focus on one side more than the other. I'm really leaning Connor Lew, man. I think he's good in both phases of the game. I really do believe if he did not have an injured season, he'd be closer to first round conversations. I think he's a good mauler in the run game. He's got good size, good leverage. I think he's an absolute high floor, day one starter on that offensive line. They could use some help, some beef on the interior. Here at pick 81, I also certainly wouldn't mind adding a running back. I know Travis Etienne is a free agent. They traded away Tank Bigsby. And even if they do bring Etienne back, he is on the older side. I think Baishal Tutin's more of a complementary back as opposed to a mainstay number one back. Where you have guys like Jonah Coleman and Emmett Johnson, I think both possess the physical ability, the athletic ability, and the vision to be kind of number one running backs in a 1-2 punch. I really like Jonah Coleman. I think he's one of those guys who's kind of slipping through the cracks a little bit, maybe a bit of fatigue. He's not the flashiest or the most physically exciting running back, but he's got good weight. He's got good contact balance. He shakes off arm tackles well. You really have to body him up to get him down. And he shows pretty good wiggle in space. It's not like he's just some little bowling ball who just kind of tries to run through you and breaks tackles that way. He can get shifty. And I think you pair him with a athletic freak, an RAS freak like Baishal Tutin, and you have a pretty good young running back tandem. Now, I would also be interested, Jennings Dunker, move him to guard, really beef up your interior line. Chris Brazzell, I'd probably rather have Deion Burks. Kevin Coleman would be really interesting here as just a really good slot receiver who can, you can just get open. Let's take a look at the D line. I'd be interested in Daryl Jackson here, Skylar Gill Howard, Tim Keenan. But I think I talked myself into Jonah Coleman, man. Assuming they don't bring back ETN, that's the pick I would absolutely make there. 7 picks later, at pick 88, I'd be interested in Deion Burks. I know his PFF grades aren't great, but I think he possesses enough separation ability to kind of be like a pretty athletic slot receiver. He's got good speed, good suddenness. Markel Bell's interesting as just like a freaky athletic upside offensive tackle. Skylar Gill Howard, similar to Connor Lew, I think he'd be pushing up boards if he didn't get hurt this year. He's a little lighter and on the slender side, but Bud Clark. Man, if you go back and watch my videos, I was talking about Bud Clark when he was ranked in like the 230s. Just a versatile kind of do-it-all cornerback. Not, not super athletic, but he's got good size. He's played plenty of snaps all over the field. Go back, watch the tape. I've been on the Bud Clark hype train, if that exists. I think we could get Kevin Coleman at 100. I think that's realistic for the simulation and for real life. Because I kind of like Kevin Coleman. I like him better than all of these guys. Yeah, I like Kevin Coleman better than all of these guys. I'm not sure how the league will view him. I imagine he's a guy who's going to continue to push up boards. Similar to Bud Clark, by the way. Go back and watch some of my old mock drafts. I've been a fan of Keon Coleman. Not a fan of Keon Coleman. I've been a fan of Kevin Coleman for quite some time now, and I think he is another guy who's going to continue to push up draft boards. I'm a big Kevin Coleman fan. We're going to wait, though, because as constituted presently, I think he will be available at pick 100. So we can look elsewhere. Dunker is interesting if you really just want to just completely overhaul the interior of the offensive line. Knowing we're targeting Keon Coleman, I'm not super interested in Deion Burks. Let me look at corners and safeties again. Tough spot here. I don't love some of these picks. I think I might just end up going Jennings Dunker. I think he's well worth the 88th pick. I probably am going to have him closer, not in the top 50, but closer to that, mid-60s, low 60s range, if I had to guess, by the draft. And I think he has the ability to move into guard. I just think he's the best player here, maybe. Other than I'd probably like Kevin Coleman better than him. But I really think Kevin Coleman will be there at pick 100, and I'm not too sure Jennings Dunkers will. So, I think you get good value, man. You just completely overhaul your interior line. I think that's absolutely what you do. This one's pretty easy for me. Kevin Coleman, he's here. I know PFF has him ranked 144th. I'm sure PFF's going to hate this in the little graphic at the end, but I don't particularly care. I think he's well worth the 100th pick. I would even have been comfortable picking him at 88 or 81, but I just know I knew he would be here in the simulator, and by the time currently right now, if the draft were tomorrow, I think it's reasonable to think he'd be here at pick 100. I think as we go through pro days and as we go through the combine, and we get closer to that draft date, I really do think Kevin Coleman's going to bump up closer and closer, top 100, top 75 kind of a guy. But as of right now, I think he'll be here. I think it's realistic to assume. And he would absolutely be my selection. Probably want to beef up the defensive line now. I'd like some defensive line and some secondary. Okay, look, Caden Curry shooting up boards. Oof. Do not love that right now. Bud Clark is gone. What a shame. Yeah, he went at 112. Robert Spears Jennings is interesting. His draft is draft stock's kind of plummeted. Real hard hitting, kind of a yeah. I mean, this tells the story. I mean, he's just a thumping kind of guy. Takario Davis, Julian Neal at this spot. I don't hate. Really big, thick corner. Kind of has, as you would assume with big corners like this, kind of has trouble staying in the hip pocket of these receivers, staying sticky to them, can kind of get separated from as the route develops. Just not the oiliest athlete, but he's got really good size. Really good size. I think he's got the head for it. It's really just if his athleticism can keep up. I don't hate that pick here. Let's look at some of these guys. Not super familiar with Chris McClellan. Yeah, I think it might be Julian Neal for me. Not seeing anybody else who I really like. Yeah, we're going to go with Julian Neal. Big, thick, well-built corner. Only question is just, is he athletic enough to stick with some of the more elusive receivers? Here at pick 162 and 164, only the Chicago Bears pick in between us. I'd really like to add some defensive line. Capehart, I think we're starting to be in the range where I'm comfortable with him. He's a bit on the older side. I'm not familiar with Caleb Proctor. Is this Sacramento Southeastern Louisiana Lions? 6'3", 280. Hoo-wee. That is a thinly built defensive tackle. I'll tell you that right now. I also wouldn't mind adding a depth linebacker to this team. Red Murdoch. That's a fun guy right there, man. Pretty sure he led the league in forced fumbles. Hey, not against my Golden Flashes, though. He got exposed. We still lost the game in the last, minute, but he got exposed. I don't know. I didn't watch that much. I watched, the last quarter. That's just kind of a fun pick, you know what I mean? Thick guy. Not super tall. Thick, experienced linebacker, tons and tons of snaps over his career, probably over 2,000 at this point. Got a nose for the football. That's something that you kind of just can't teach. I think we're going to do it. I talked myself into it. Never hurts to take a developmental linebacker later in the draft. Let him earn his way. Let him work his way. Get him under some NFL coaching. Now I will take DeMonte Capehart. I'm just a little more familiar with him than Brevard. I like him better than Zane Durant. I certainly like him better than Rashawn Benny. What a fall for him. What a fall for him. Like I said, run stuffing, kind of thicker, bigger defensive tackle. You can rotate him in, take snaps away from your starting guys. If he gives you any pass rush ability, you're happy about it. You'll take whatever you can get. Going to pick 233 here, deep into the seventh round. Now we're just kind of taking flyers on guys. I see Taylon Green here. That's a fun one. I'm excited to see him run at the combine. Really big, really athletic. Not good at quarterback, but, Taylon Green, they actually have him higher than Sawyer Robertson as an actual, it's weird. As a prospect, just overall, I'd probably rather take Taylon Green. As a quarterback, I'd definitely rather take Sawyer Robertson. Is there somewhere we just didn't hit? I mean, we got someone at every level of the defense. 2 linemen, a receiver, and a running back. Tommy Castellanos. Castellanos, however you pronounce it. They got Miller Moss ahead of Diego Pavia. That's sad. That is really sad because Miller Moss is... he's garbage. You know what? Let's do something fun. Take Taylor Green. See what you can do with him. It's the pick 233. It doesn't really matter. It matters, but, you know, you get the point. Athletic freak, really big. I mean, even if you could turn him into something like Taysom Hill, that's an absolute win for pick 233. I wouldn't expect him to develop as a quarterback. I don't think that's really in his capabilities, but if you can turn into like a gadget trick kind of guy, then you'll take that in the 7th round. And you'd be pretty happy about it. Where could they add another piece? Let's look at receivers again. I know none of these names. Not even familiar, other than Squirrel White. Say that. It's tough. It's tough to say it. It's tough as hell. Robert Spears Jennings is gone. He's probably been gone. Ugh. I don't really know many names, so we're just gonna pick somewhere that they could use a depth piece at. I've hit O-line twice. I've hit receiver and running back. Don't need running back. Brian Thomas. They have Parker Washington. Maybe they could hit another receiver, just kind of get a depth guy. Is there a bigger receiver? Kevin Coleman's kind of smaller. Oh, this guy's 0 feet, 0 inches. That's really heavy for that height. Yikes. He's a bigger receiver, though, but golly. I mean, what do you even do to get that bad of a 1 point? That's not very good. Is there someone? Wow. How far down do these go? Incarnate Word? Incarnate Word. Hey, they played Southeastern Louisiana or whatever the hell. I always lose my mind at the end of these drafts. It's late, it's 9:20 at night, and tired. I don't know any of these names, and so I can't really give cogent analysis on any specific player. So I aimlessly click through these to try to find a guy who fits the size profile that I'm looking for, knowing nothing about them. I mean, I feel like we've looked at this guy before. My gosh, how does one grade this bad against UNC, mind you? Like, how do you play that bad, man? Oh, man. He could cover, but ask him to tackle, and you're kidding yourself if you think he's going to lay a finger on somebody. Come on, Jalen Catalon. I feel like that's a name I've heard before. Just didn't even play this year. Played all of the games, but just didn't play. He got surpassed. Wow, something redeeming. Nope, it's not you. All right, not bad grade. Played real snap. A cornerback? Oh, I thought this was a corner. It's like, what in the world is a corner playing most of his snaps as a box player? 6'3", 208. All right, you're a big safety. Versatile player. Mainly a box guy, kind of a dime linebacker even. But you've played some in the slot, some deep. You're our guy. You're our guy. You are the guy. There it is. VJ Payne out of Kansas State. Finishing us off here. Yeah, I knew they would hate that. They're wrong. I don't care. I'll stand by it. That's a great selection. I would even have been comfortable at 88 and 81, which they can't have given a worse grade, so I guess that's something. But Yeah, there it is. Jacksonville Jaguars mock draft. You get beef on the offensive line, interior offensive line, starters right away. I think Lou and Dunker can both go and compete and win a starting job. You get a 1A running back to pair with Byshal Tootin. Kevin Coleman's just a separating freak. Put him in the slot. Don't let him get pressed. He's going to get open for you. Big body cornerback like Julian Neal. Hopefully you can put him in positions where his athleticism won't burn him. Red Murdoch, just a, nose for the football, thumping linebacker. Get him in there, get some coaching, and hope he can turn into something. And then, K-part, rotational, run stuffing, early downs kind of a guy. Taylon Green, athletic freak. You just kind of hope that you get anything out of him, any sort of trick play, gadget player, Taysom Hill-esque role. And then I know nothing about VJ Payne, but he was not terrible. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think down below. Any picks you would have made differently. Any players you just love for the Jags. I think fit perfectly. Like I said at the beginning of the video, make sure you like the video, stick around, subscribe, share with friends, comment. I love doing this. It's a lot of fun. I love going in the comments and talking to people. Yeah, I'm having a great time doing this. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time.